Okay, so our second example with a recurrence relation here is we have a function, sequence that's defined in terms of the previous two. So because we have a previous two, we actually do need some initial conditions. We actually need two of them. So we're going to state this one this way. Usually I use B1 for the first value of the sequence. But I'm dealing with a particular sequence here that's actually well known, and maybe when we start generating it, you'll recognize what the sequence is. And that sequence pretty much on its own is always defined this way. So with the first value being B0, the second value being B1, and they're both equal to 1. So what's going to happen here is B0 would be 1. B1 would be 1, and then the next value, B2, would be B1 plus B2, right, which would be 1 plus 1, which would be 2. And then B3 would be B2 plus B1 would be 3. And we just keep continuing on this pattern. B4 would be 3 plus 2 would be 5. B5 would be 5 plus 3 would be 8. B6, which I guess technically is the seventh term in our sequence, although I'll go ahead and do B7 anyway. 8 plus 5 is 13, and B7 is 13 plus 8, which is 21. Okay, this sequence here, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on, is a very famous sequence of numbers. This is known as the Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci sequence. Okay. And it's named after the guy that kind of made it famous, Leonardo da Pisa, or Leonardo known as Fibonacci. A guy by the name of Leonardo da Pisa, who actually wrote one of the first, if not the first, books on arithmetic using the Indo-Arabic numeral system that we currently use today for our number system. He brought that into Europe. He was an Italian guy. So he wrote a book, I believe it's called Lars of Bacchi. Trying to remember that correctly. So again, this guy Leonardo da Pisa, was again called Fibonacci. Fibonacci, by the way, is a name that actually means son. It's an abbreviation for son of Bonacci. So Leonardo, son of Bonacci. And the book he wrote is, as I said, where he brought the Hindu-Arabic system of numbers into Europe. The book he wrote is called Liber Abaci. Liber Abaci. It taught people how to use do arithmetic with this new system that they weren't aware of for the most part. And in that sequence, there's a famous problem about breeding pairs of rabbits, where this sequence called the Fibonacci numbers comes about. Okay, so that's the Fibonacci sequence, and you can kind of look that up. Just look up Fibonacci sequence or Leonardo da Pisa. Leonardo of Pisa, son of Bonacci, who brought this to Europe, the arithmetic system, and in that there was the famous problem about the rabbits, breeding pairs of rabbits that generates this, that leads to this sequence. Okay, so that's called the Fibonacci sequence. It's a really famous sequence. We won't be doing a whole lot more with it here. but it's been studied and it has tons of unique and interesting properties.